Good afternoon. The first thing that I am going to do is something very, very unpopular. I am going to request you to come forward. All of you. If you don't have any fights with them, please come forward and sit. If you are guitar, as children say, then don't do it.
No, sir.
We were just waiting
Sir,
for
we
the
may have other
person.
persons.
Okay, please come. Because I am an old man, you know, so I don't want to shout so much. That is okay. Okay. One thing is with regard to our role. What is our role? I am a teacher. Basically, if you ask me, I am a teacher. Right? All other things are peripheral. What is our role? What are we doing? What are we doing? Really speaking. Please tell. What are we doing? If somebody asks, what are you? We say, yes, I am a teacher. That's all. But much more than that, do you realize the value? When a child comes to you, at what age? 2 years, 2.5 years, right? And after 12th standard, when a person leaves, right? What does he do? He will join an engineering course, he will join a medical college, if they are the best. Otherwise there are many other variations also. He will do commerce, he will do management. There are different things that are done. Some become scientists, right? At home, how much does that child learn by the age of 2? Very little. I am not belittling. The contribution of the parents towards the development of a child, really speaking, is very, very little. Right? Please don't say we are mothers, we have contributed tremendously. Yes, you have contributed. No doubt about it. But much more than is contributed by whom? It is by the teacher. That is the realization that you don't have. Most of the time we don't realize to teach a boy or girl in 12th standard or first year degree is easy. To teach a small child in the school is the most difficult thing. What are we really doing? We are helping in nation building. Unfortunately, most of the teachers don't realize it. And that is what we have to realize, that this is the type of thing that we are doing. We are doing something very, very important so far as the society is concerned. And because of that, we should work together to see that our children achieve the best. Right? You were talking about some time ago, you were talking about when I achieve something, when I do something very well. Right? What happens? What happens? We will be happy. We will be satisfied. But when you see a staircase, then what happens?
You will probably
Huh? What do you want to do? You want to climb, right? Yes, that is what is motivation, right? It is with regard to the future, right? When you have a challenging situation, that is what should be motivating you, not a happiness, right? Not a happiness. It is a challenge, right? That is what should be motivating a person continuously. Have you seen a movie called To Serve with Love? Anybody?
Serve with love. That is also.
To Serve with Love? No, you have not seen. Come next time, we will show you.
Yes.
Right? We will show you a movie. What is a teacher, a black man? He is a British case. He, after coming from the Air Force, retiring from the Air Force, he wanted to take up a job. He was not able to get. Then finally somebody suggests him to a school. He goes to the school. And that school was notorious. Notorious because the children were hooligans. To talk in other words, gundas. Right? And he works with the children over a period of time and brings about tremendous amount of change in those children who were supposed to be very, very notorious. And it looks across. This is and there is a lot of fun to see that the people who are really not, children who are not doing very well, when they start doing very well, that is so right? So We are really in the business of, if somebody asks, what is your business? We are in the business of national. Right? That is what should be the answer. Right? How many of you have read Alice in Wonderland? I know, quite a few of you would have. You have read, please raise a hand. Only one? But I am asking whether read or not. I am not asking to, I will not ask you to quote. You have read it. So 2. That's all. 3. Okay, this is a very interesting book. Provided you try to find the meaning. Right? When he asked you to do treasure hunt, what reminded me was Alice in Wonderland. Most of the time, we act exactly the same way. What way? Alice was walking and she saw a four-cross road. She reached them and she did not know which road to take. Now she is remembering. Which road to take? I had also read 50 years ago. So there is all the animals and birds they talk in Alice in Wonderland. So she asked, there was a cat, Cheshire cat, asked, which way shall I take? For crossroad, no. So she did not know which road to take. So which way shall I take? Which road shall I take? The cat answered, that depends upon where you want to reach. Right? Whichever road you take, that depends upon where you want to reach. Then she said, no, I'm not very particular because I was wandering in the garden, so I'm not very particular about it. Then, whichever way you choose, it does not really matter. Right? The treasure hunt was exactly like that. Right? We were not clear about our things. What is it that we are searching? Right? And why do we want to do it? No, we were not very clear. So, it is this that is the most important thing. That was the reason I was talking about what is our role? What is our business? This was the question that I got. Once having understood that we are playing a very, very important role, now, how do we really teach? Most of the time, if you want to be an effective teacher, please understand, you have to be a child. Right? That is very difficult for us. Remember, what was the type of thing that were doing? When we were children in the classroom, what was the type of thing that were doing? For example, I can tell you, when I was in the school, most of the time, my mind must have been in my mother's kitchen. Right? Or, evening, all of us will be playing. Not football and all, a tennis ball used to be there. We will all be running after that. And small children, it was very enjoyable. In the village school, there is nothing, no other facility. So the mind will be for the school bell to ring so that you can run. Right? That is the fastest time that you will be running. Right? These will be the type of things sitting in the class. Right? Today's children are not very children. And what happens in their case? There are added things. They may have seen a movie, right, or a TV program, and this again, the mind occupies with them. Now, this is the type of children who are sitting in the class. You can't blame anybody, everywhere that is the case. These are the children who have to be brought to the classroom. When I am talking about they are already sitting in the class, they have to be brought into the classroom. Right? What is the type of problem? I'll tell you so far as communication is concerned. Now, small children, they will always be, their mind will always be very busy. Old people like me, our mind is also very busy, right? There is no difference, only the type of things that is in the head could dominate you. Supposing this is the teacher. Teacher is speaking, if the child is with the teacher, then what happens? There is no problem. Right from the beginning till the end, the child is with you. Right? We know that does not happen. What is the reason? Now for example, when I am talking to you, maybe my speed is about 80 words per minute. But your mind can process almost 900 words. And I am talking at 80. So what happened? There is a gap. The ability of the mind to process and the ability of the person to speak. So teacher is also in the same position. May not even be 80 because you are talking to the children. So what happens is that it will be much more slower. And because of this gap, what happens? The mind flies out. So very small children may not do. Slightly older children, what do they do to do this time? Classrooms are wonderful places for private planning. What is private planning? Well, thinking about the personal work. It could be, as I talked about, when I was a child, yes, my mind was in my mother's kitchen. Your mind could be, don't take it badly, could be, what do I make in the evening? Right? You can start from there. You can also talk about the program, what program I am going to watch, where am I going out in the evening. It could be a variety of things. We are talking, but our mind is somewhere else. Children don't understand, and faculty members also, when somebody asks the question, no, we don't. Why don't you repeat the question? Don't we do that? Everybody has this problem. What is the reason? Because even when we are talking, we are also not them. Right? So, most of the children get into the private planning, bigger children will get into the plan. This problem, more seriously. Smaller one, they also have their plans. It could be the playground, or it could be something else. But this is one of the major problems that we should have. Can somebody feel it? Yes, of course it is daydreaming. Classrooms again are wonderful places for daydreaming. Right? It could be a movie, it could be a TV program, and bigger children, if they read a newspaper, it could be a newspaper, something that was reported. Right? Today there are a lot of things to think about. Yes. It could be anything. What happens is that we will be getting into daydreaming. And then everything that is told is gone. For example, you may say, no, I have experience. When we take a book and read, what happens? When we take a book and read, we have read a chapter and we keep it. Afterwards, I ask the question, what did I read? There is nothing. I have gone through the entire chapter, but there is nothing in the head because my mind was somewhere else. Right? So, that is where when we are reading, what do we need to do? After every paragraph, ask this question, what did I read? Right? What does the paragraph say? And if you have a notebook nearby, one sentence, what does the paragraph say? After 1 or 2 pages, what did really the lesson say? And at the end of the lesson, what are the most important points? Right? If you recall these, you will be able to concentrate, the mind will not be doing like this. Are the teachers in 11th standard, 12th standard here? Okay, yes. This is another interesting problem. They do it. Many of the times what happens is, the teacher will take the student in a different direction. I don't have a ready example. This was the reason I was asking the high school. Supposing you were teaching the children economics, right? 11th standard and 12th standard. You are teaching economics, you are talking about income. You are talking about a national income. The child thinks, okay, how much will be my income when I get a job? Right? So from here, gone. And with a lot of difficulty, the child, the student, bring his mind back to listen. At that point of time, the teacher talks about expenditure. Right? So when I get my first salary, what do? Buy a saree for my mother, or a bag for my father, or buy a new car, it can go. Especially bigger children. Small children have their own way. And again with the difficulty I am bringing this back. So at that point of time, he is talking about savings. Income minus expenditure is equal to savings. So again the mind, taxes and all these things will be equal. So the speaker himself will take the person on a group. Right? Smaller children, this problem may not be there, but in bigger children, there is a problem. If you are teaching in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, debate on every topic, everybody may not agree. Right? So what happens? I have to contradict, I don't know today, but in my day, no, the students will not have the courage to ask questions to the teacher. Right? But today, I think children will ask questions. If that is the case, it's a wonderful thing. Right? So the mind is debating, how do I debate this issue? I want to ask the teacher. Right? And then what happens? Whatever the teacher is telling, it's lost. All these are the type of problem that both the teacher as well as students. So that is basically the reason. For example, when he was working with you, what was he doing? Like me, he was not boring you by giving a lecture. He was actually making you do things. Right? When you are doing things, it is possible from very, very small class. When you do things, your mind is engaged in that. Your mind will not have a time to fly away. Right? So make children do, for example, if you are teaching very small children arithmetic, if you are interested, spend some money, get a few toffees, the cheapest variety. Keep it 1, 2, 3. Will it not become clear? When I was very small, 1, 2, 3, when the teacher was talking of, no, it was not 1, 2, 3, it was in my local language, it was all unknown to me. 1, 2, 3, yes, 1, 2, 3, that's all, nothing more than that. What does it mean? You do not know. You take coffee, or otherwise you take stones, or otherwise there are beautiful these seeds available. Take that, right? And then teach the children. You can make a child understand what is 1, 2, 3, what is multiplication, what is addition, multiplication, division. Using this, the child will never forget. Right? I'll give you an example. I had repeated this number of times, so it will be boring for them. When I was small, I had a lot of difficulty with regard to fraction in the school. Of course, did not have the courage to ask the questions again and again to the teacher, because those days it was really difficult to ask, but I really did not understand. Teacher wrote 1 by 2, 1 by 4, and then of course teacher was explaining why 1 by 4 is smaller than 1 by 2. It did not go to my head. 2 and 4 is large. So 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 4 could only be larger. How can it be smaller? I tried to argue with the teacher. No, nothing. The way that the teacher explained, the way that I understood, because it was already in my mind that 4 is always large, so 1 by 4 is large. Right? So with a lot of difficulty, I went through. I told my mother. No, she was not a teacher at all. I said, I have difficulty. I don't understand. I think many other children also understand, so I feel sad about it. There was a banana on the table. Mother took and made it 2 pieces and said, out of these, one I will give to you. Do you want that? I am not giving to you now. Do you want this? This is 2 pieces. I am giving you 1 by 2. Right? I cut this into 4 pieces and I give you 1. You have a choice whether you want out of 4 or out of 4. Right? The meaning became clear immediately. Right? So, that is the way. Try to make things act in the classroom itself. Let the students do things. Then it will become become easy. You may ask, I am teaching history, how do I teach it? If you are teaching about Akbar, go to the internet. I think your schools will have computer. Download the picture. Show the picture. Or if you are talking about Shah Jahan, show the picture. Show the picture of Taj Mahal. Show the picture of Mumtaz Mahal. Like this if you do, and then if you start talking of things, right? So every aspect that you are teaching, it is possible for you to practice and show it not only in mathematics, even at the higher levels, if you are teaching algebra, that again it can be made very, very rough. Right? And when you approach the subject through practice and the practical aspect, the child will learn on that. And then what happens? When students come to meet you after 30 years and 40 years, when the children come to meet you, that will be the happiest moment for you. Right? That was the reason I said we are into nation building, and it is a very, very important thing. And that was precisely the reason that government has established so many education. When we got independent, our literacy rate would have been, in the case of women, it was about 13 or 14%. In the case of men, it was slightly larger, 28% or something like that. Today, what is the literacy rate? Right? We just have to go up further, but that is the way. When we got independent, we had between 20 to 27 universities. I don't know if you ask the exact number. Somewhere I have read 20, and somewhere else 22, 25, 27 universities. Today, how many do you know? 750 universities. And tomorrow, no, this figure does not have a validity. Tomorrow there could be more. Right? That is the way it is happening. Colleges, about 150 to 35,000 plus colleges. Understand the importance of education. At the time of the first plan, what did the government do? First, it was agriculture. Why agriculture? With the food only everything can happen. Then came industry. So with agriculture and industrial development, what do you need? You need trained people. And that was the reason. Workers, ITI, supervisors, polytechnic, engineering colleges for engineers. Then came management institutes. Right? So every level, agricultural universities for developing agriculture, every aspect, you can understand the importance of education. Right? That is the reason it is our duty. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I did a survey of schools around Ahmedabad. 30 schools. You know what did I find? Most of the students in the 8th standard, it is not in Ahmedabad, around Ahmedabad. 7th standard and 8th standard students did not know how to write a single sentence. Similarly, people also what they were expected to, even a 4th standard mathematical problem, arithmetic problem, they did not know how to solve. That is the reason our teaching has to be object oriented. Ask the question, why am I teaching this lesson? Right? What is the objective of teaching? What is the objective of this class? Then at the end of it ask, what do I do to achieve at the beginning of the class? And at the end of the class ask, have I achieved that objective? Right? We need to ask the question before we take a decision with regard to what we are teaching. Right? If we do that, we will be more effective in the classroom. Right? When you are more effective, right? It does not motivate, it makes you very happy. And why are we doing all these things? Ultimately, what is the aim? Money is an aim. But money is for what purpose? For happiness. Is it not? Money is for happiness. If it is going to give unhappiness, will you go for money? You will not go. Money is for happiness. Right? So, ultimately, when you do very well, it is going to give you tremendous amount of happiness. At this age, all these young people may not necessarily understand. But after 30 years, when children come to meet you, make inquiry, they are in different places of the world. And when they come, they make inquiries and they come and meet you. Sir, I remember such and such thing you did in the class. Right? That is the great thing. A few years ago, I was teaching at the Institute of Rural Management, Anand. There was one person, he was standing and talking to the people. I had taught him about 22 or 23 years ago. And when I saw the person standing and talking, I could not recognize him. He had lost all his hair. And not only that, he was a board member at the Institute of Rural Management. He recognized me. And then immediately he came. And then he asked, are you not Professor Gopalakrishnan? I said, yes. Then he said, I am Vivek. So immediately it was, yes, my mind flashed, a student called Vivekananda in the first batch. He was a board member, he had achieved great things in life. Then he said, sir, you taught such and such and such cases. Think 24 years or 25 years ago, a person remembering the number of cases, that not a number, the names of the cases, it was extremely interesting. Where I felt very, very happy. Even today, this incident. And similarly, another person, one girl, at that time I was at BK school. She comes, it was raining. She comes, there were two children, and just opened half door, and sir asked, sir, will you recognize me? I said, I am sorry, but you come. Then with the two children, she comes and stands and gives a smile. Sir, do you recognize me? No, I do not. She was my student, all right, meeting me after 18 years, but you can understand a girl doing a BA, what will be her condition, and after marriage, after two children coming to meet me after 18 years, how would she look? And she was coming from USA. Right? So, no, by looking at her, I could not. Then again, she was talking. Immediately it struck me from the voice, because voice had not changed, it was the same. I asked, are you not Bindu Vyas? She was so happy. She was so happy. This is fine. I also felt very happy. Coming from USA like this, I get a lot of stories to me. Right? And that happiness is because if you try to put in an extra effort, you are inventing the course. Which can you do? Everybody can do. Don't be under the impression, yes, only some people are creative. No, everybody is creative. And the teacher, all the more, is creative. Right? So what happens is that? Be creative. Don't go for what they have taught you in the B.Ed college. Forget about B.Ed college. Right? That is what I would say. You try to find your own path. Right? And teach. Then you will teach very well. Right? At the end of it, at the end of the year, you will be a happier person. Right? You don't have to wait for 30, 40 years. Oh, happiness comes after 40 years. No, no, no. At the end of the year itself, you will be very happy when your children are good. Right? Come again, we will show you to serve with the love. Right? That will be really motivating. Thank you.